Hi everyone and welcome to Emma Bowden Art, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how you can draw this Christmas gonk. So for this tutorial I'm going to go through the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need Strathmore Bristol smooth paper or any kind of paper that you have, as long as it's not printer paper, because printer paper will not hold the amount of layers that we're going to be applying. You're also going to need an embossing tool. Now this is optional, and this is for the little tiny flyaway hairs at the bottom of the beard. I don't know if you can see them in the picture. I wasn't too keen on them, to be honest, but it's personal preference. If you want to try it, you can try it. But if you want, you'll need one of those. You're also going to need some kind of brush, just to brush away any kind of eraser dust. I've used my Tombow Mono eraser, which is literally an eraser in pen form, so it's like a thin pen and you push it at the top and the eraser comes out at the bottom. It's great for getting in fine details. You're also going to need just a normal eraser, and the pencils that I'm going to be using, they're called Polychromos or Polychromos. Some people call it something different. And you're going to need a black, a white, a burnt ochre, a dark cadmium orange, deep scarlet red, beige red, warm grey 4 and walnut brown. And that's all you're going to need for your tools. I will also provide a link for you to download your reference picture, which looks like this. Now, I normally print this off on my home printer on good quality matte paper. I don't use photo paper because it's too glossy and it's too shiny and I can't see the details. Or you can just use your phone or an iPad or whatever you want to use. You will also need your line work, which I've already done for you, and you can download that with your reference picture. So here it is. All you need to do is just pop some graphite on the back and then flip it back over so the front's facing you on your paper. So basically that graphite's sandwiched in between. You could trace over it, or you can always download my Easy Grid system. I'll also link that, and you can download that. That is a physical item, so you'll have to buy that separately, unfortunately, but it's fantastic for getting in and replicating what you're seeing on your reference photo. So if that's something you're interested in, you can always download that. Otherwise, you can literally just copy it by eye if you're confident enough. So that's all you need for now, guys. So once you've put that onto your paper, we'll head straight over to the video. Some parts of the video I have actually sped up, obviously where I'm colouring in, and it can take like half an hour. You don't want to watch me for half an hour colour some bits in, so I have sped some parts of it up, but I have explained throughout the video exactly what I'm doing. The reference picture I have left on screen, and I've also put in what colour pencil I'm using. So hopefully everything's all here that you need, and good luck with the video and happy drawing, guys. Let's get to it. Hi guys, so I've done the outline already. You can download the outline if you want, or you can freehand it, it's up to you. So here I've got my embossing tool, and it's a little metal tool. It's got like a little tiny metal ball on the end, and all I'm doing is I'm pressing it into the paper to create like little flyaway hairs that you can see in your reference picture. You don't have to do this bit if you don't want to. It's personal choice. But basically it just indents the paper, and then when you go over with your coloured pencils, it leaves that bit of paper white. try it out on a scrap bit of paper. Going in now with the walnut brown, and I'm going to place this wherever you see a shadow. So on this gonk, the light is coming from the left hand side, so the gonk is in shadow on the right hand side, and I'm holding my pencil further back, and it's pretty much flat to the table. So literally there's only a little bit of colour going on there. I don't want it too dark at the moment. We're going to build up to being the correct kind of depth for the shadow. Just going in with a little bit more pressure now, because if you look on your reference picture you can actually see that underneath the right arm it is a little bit more darker, and then as it comes to the middle of the body where the dark meets the light, it's a little bit lighter. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to adjust our pressure so it's harder by the arm, and then as we come towards the middle of the body it will be lighter. Going in now with the shadow on the left arm. Now you can see that this is quite a harsh shadow, so there isn't much feathering onto the lighter area. So if you just go in with a medium pressure and just block that in. Bit of a lighter pressure now on the left arm, because you can see on your reference picture that it is a lighter shadow compared to where the shadow falls underneath the arm. Just going back to this shadow now because I feel that it's not dark enough, so I'm just going over it again with a lighter pressure. Not too hard, because obviously we need to put some oranges and reds on top of this and we don't want to lose the tooth of our paper. Doing exactly the same on the left hand side here. And now I'm going in onto the glove. So where you can see the shadow on the glove, we're just going to block that in, and if it's a darker shadow we're going to apply a little bit more pressure. I'm going to do exactly the same now with the glove on the right hand side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up this process now until we need to apply the orange, because it's quite a lengthy process and you don't really want to be watching me do every single bit. So just follow exactly what you've been doing all over. So I'm not going to be drawing in the table, I'm literally just going to be drawing in the shadow that you can see on the table. Going in now with the white pencil, and I will be applying this anywhere where there is white. This is just to put a base layer down because we're going to be putting a little bit of grey on top of this, and I don't want it to be too dark, so putting the light underneath will just lighten that grey up a bit. Try not to go over your graphite marks. Rub your graphite marks out as you go, because if you go over your graphite marks when you're using the white pencil, it won't look great and it'll be quite hard to rub out. So again, I'll speed this process up. So we're going to use our dark cadmium orange pencil, and I'm going to apply this very lightly all over where you can see red in the picture, and that includes going over the shadowed area as well. So I'm holding my pencil all the way back so that there's not much pressure on that pencil at all, and I'm going to go over everything. Now you might be wondering why I'm going in with the orange, and that's because if you look at your reference picture on the left hand side where the light is hitting, you can actually see that there's quite an orange undertone to this red, and that's why we won't go straight in with our red just yet. We're going to build it all up over I would say four, maybe 5 layers, so it's quite a long process is using coloured pencils. But yeah, so if you just go through with the orange nice and light, and then I'm going to speed this bit up and I'll come back. So we're just going in now with our walnut brown, and we're going to go back over our shadows. Because we've put the orange over the top, it's lightened our shadows, and we don't want that. We need them to be quite dark. So we'll just go over them with a little bit more of a harder pressure now. And again, I'll speed this bit up. So you can see now that we've put in some of those darker shadows that it's already starting to have that 3D feel to it. Now we're just going in with our deep scarlet red, and we're going to do exactly the same as what we've just done with our orange. And with medium pressure, I'm going to go in and I'm going to colour all this in. So he's starting to look really, really good now. He's got his red on him. So we're going back in now with our walnut brown to adjust our shadows yet again. If you look, especially where I'm putting in the shadows now, you can see that it's very, very dark there. You can hardly see any red. So we're just amending and adjusting the colour here to match the reference photo. So it's looking a lot better now. So staying with our walnut brown, I'm going to apply some of this to the pom-pom area of the hat, and I'm going to apply this in very, very small circular marks, because obviously it's quite fluffy and we want to replicate that, and we're only going to be putting it where we can see that shadow, so it's not going to be all over. And the way that we're going to feather this out is to leave some more of the white in between the sort of like circular marks. So this top bit here, I'm going to rub that graphite line out, and then very, very gently put a little bit of that walnut brown. Swapping our walnut brown now for our warm grey 4. And we're going to use this now to create the hairs on the beard. So very, very lightly, again holding a pencil all the way back. And we're just going to put some of these darker shadows in on the beard. So you can see in between the hairs all the way coming down, you can see those shadows, and that's all we're doing. We're just replicating those shadows. They're not straight. Some of them are broken lines, some of them are curved lines, some of them are wavy lines. So kind of mix and match it up a little bit. And yeah, and so where the beard actually meets the suit at the bottom is where you want to put some of those hairs in, just to break up the edge. Just popping in that shadow now underneath the hat, so the hat doesn't look like it's just plonked on. It actually gives that 3D effect, that there's something underneath the hat. Going in now with our burnt ochre, and we're going to apply this very, very lightly with a small circular motion. Now we're going to go over all that area with a little bit more pressure with our beige red. So back to our walnut brown now, guys, and we're going to be applying this in the same way that we did with the pom-pom on the top of the hat, and we're going to be applying it all over now where there's white. So we're going to apply more circular motions on the right hand side with a little bit more pressure, because obviously it's in shadow on the left hand side, and then as we come through over to the left hand side, they're going to be lighter and not so many of the circular motion. So you can see here I'm literally just kind of wiggling my pencil over the paper just to create that sense of sort of like that fluffiness. And don't forget to erase your graphite marks on the side as well. Going back in now with our dark cadmium orange, and we're going to apply this all over with a bit more pressure. Now you'll have to excuse my phone there. I was actually videoing some footage for my TikTok account, so I can make a little video. There we go, it's all done now. But yeah, just go over everywhere, including the shadows there on the jacket, with a little bit more pressure, so you can see now how much that orange is coming through. So swapping out orange now and going back to our deep scarlet red. And this is going to be our last colour layer. And we're really going to be pressing quite hard now on this pencil to fill all the top of the paper, because if you look at, especially at mine, it's probably the same as yours, but you can still see the paper coming through the colour. So what we're doing now is we're pressing hard into our paper, so that basically all you can see now is the colour. So you can see how nice and smooth he's looking, and I did actually lie. I do actually put some more on the top. So we go into our dark cadmium orange, and just on the left hand side where the light is hitting, and you can see that the red is quite an orangey red, I'm just applying that on the left hand side, on his boot, his jacket, his arm and the side of his hat. Going in now with the black, and I'm going to apply this quite gently and building up to a shade that I'm quite happy with. I'm going to apply this now where you can see the areas that are very, very dark. So if you have a look at your reference picture, and you can see that the size of the nose here, where it goes into darkness, I'll apply some of that there, and underneath the arms and underneath the boots. Some of this black I do pull down into the beard very, very slightly as well. But yeah, so wherever you see black in the picture, apply this colour. there I go with my phone again, doing some more video footage for my TikTok. So by now your paper would have got very, very dirty from dragging the colour with your hand. So as you can see now, I'm just rubbing out all the background, and you can actually see where it's really, really dirty. So there you go. Can you see that patch there? So you don't actually notice this until you actually start rubbing it out, how dirty your paper can actually get. So make sure you use a clean rubber and clean it every so often to get the colour off the rubber, otherwise you'll just be smudging it from one place to another place. I'm just going to do this all over. So I'm just going around the edges with my Tombow Mono eraser here, because you can't get in with the bigger rubber and you don't really want to risk rubbing out any of your colour. And we're also just going to go in with our Tombow to lift some highlights now. So I'm going to use the mono eraser to lift up the smaller highlights, and then the bigger eraser to lift up some of the bigger highlights, like on the hat. And we're just going to lift up on the left hand side where the light is hitting, and a little bit on that right hand glove there as well. So if you have a look at your reference picture, you can see where the light's hitting, and you're just going to keep going over and over it, because we have put quite a few layers of colour down, so it will take a little while to lift that colour off. And you're just going to lift it up, and that's all you're going to do for this part. So it's starting to look a little bit more 3D now. And we're just going in with our white, and I'm just going to apply some of this where we've lifted some of that colour. And that's because in a minute we're going to be putting dark cadmium orange over the top, very, very gently. And I want to put this white underneath so that it's nice and light when it goes on the top. So here we are, we're going to go over the top of that white now with gentle pressure with our dark cadmium orange. And that's it, guys, there he is all done. So what I'll probably do now is I will take a picture with my big camera, and I will probably send off to a company to make him into some Christmas cards. So thank you for watching, and if you do end up having a go at this tutorial, then please make sure to send me your pictures, because I'd love to see what you've done and how he's turned out. So Hope you enjoyed and happy drawing. Bye for now.